Zamfara APC condemns alleged arrest of members in the state. Court fixes date for hearing of preliminary objection on Operation Positive Identification. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal warns against dictatorship on hate speech bill. On the business, Senate probes non-takeoff of Hydroelectric Power Commission. On sports, Joseph Olabisi becomes first female president of NSSF. On the international scene, President Donald Trump approves legislation backing Hong Kong protesters. Welcome to Standard Voice Television News. I am Musa Joy Onyoga, and reading with me today is
Samira Ibrahim.
Now the news in full. The Zamfara chapter of All Progressives Congress, APC, has condemned the alleged arrest and detention of its members in the state. The state chairman of the party, Alhaji Lawal Liman, condemned the action in Gusau on Thursday while meeting with the 14 local government chairmen of the party in the state. He described the arrest as a political witch hunt by the state government. Honorable Lehman noted that members of the party have been facing harassment, intimidation, and threats from the government. According to him, the meeting was summoned to discuss various issues affecting the party, especially the current challenges of harassment and intimidation that members of the party are facing in the state. He therefore called on the courts and security agencies in the state to avoid being used by politicians. He said the APC members will continue to play politics in line with the provisions of the constitutions and will remain law-abiding and avoid anything that will lead to disruption of peace and stability in the state.
Justice Mohammed Aika of the Federal High Court in Lagos on Thursday fixed a date for the hearing of the preliminary objection filed by the Nigerian Army against the suit filed by a senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, to challenge the Operation Positive Identification. The judge had earlier on November 5th ordered the Army to suspend the operation pending the final determination of the suit. An earlier hearing date for yesterday, but the court's new date was fixed as a result of Mr. Falana's application seeking for short adjournment for him to respond to the respondent's application. Counsel representing the Army and the Chief of Army Staff, Mrs. Olayemi Badewale, didn't oppose the applicant's application for short adjournment. The Solicitor General of the Federation, Dayo Apata, who represented the Attorney General of the Federation, did not also oppose it. In the absence of any opposition from other parties, the court fixed the new date, December 12, for hearing. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, the Army and the Attorney General of the Federation were joined as co-respondents in the suit marked FHC/I/CS/1939/2019. In the suit, Mr. Falana argues that the planned nationwide operation, which was scheduled to run from November 1st to December 23, 2019, by which Nigerian citizens will be required to move about with means of identification, is unconstitutional, illegal, null and void. He insisted that the operation violates his right and that of other Nigerian citizens to liberty, as encapsulated in Section 35, respectively, of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999 as amended, and Article 6 of the African Charter on Human and People's Rights, Ratification and Enforcement Act, Cap A10, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria, 2004.
Sokoto State Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal has urged the media to remain vigilant and mobilize Nigerians to defend the nation's democracy, saying the country cannot operate a democracy like a military dictatorship. Governor Tambuwal, a former Speaker of the House of Representatives, tasked the media and other stakeholders to resist the controversial hate speech bill currently in the Nigerian Senate. The governor made a comment on Thursday, November 28, during the opening ceremony of the Nigerian Guild of Editors Conference in Sokoto State. He rallied the media to defend free speech by mobilizing public opinion against the bill. He said we must join hands to checkmate anti-democratic elements and return our country to the path of constitutionalism, progress and development. According to him, there are enough provisions in the country's law to deal with people whose actions can undermine national unity and cohesion, saying such proposed Ukrainian legislation has no place in a constitutional democracy.
A member of a committee set up by the Zamfara state government to tackle banditry, Sani Shinkafi, has urged the state government to implement the committee's report for peace to reign in the state. Addressing journalists in his residence on Friday, Shinkafi said the only solution to the insecurity in the state was to implement the committee's report submitted to the government. He stated that the committee had, among other recommendations, suggested the removal of 5 emirs and 33 district heads and urged the state government to dismiss the monarchs. He expressed dismay over the number of people that lost their lives and properties in the state between 2012 and May this year as a result of bandit connivance with the affected emirs and district heads. According to him, more than 6,000 people were killed, while a total number of 3,673 people were kidnapped, and the sum of 3.2 billion naira paid as ransom within the period. He advised the governor to implement the committee's recommendation and punish the culprits to serve as a deterrent to others.
Still on Zamfara State government says its proposed bill in the State House of Assembly will stop school-age children from hawking during school hours in the state. Governor Bello Matawale Maradu disclosed this in an interview with News Agency of Nigeria shortly after receiving an award of excellence for teachers' welfare in Enugu on Thursday. The award was from Association of Primary School Head Teachers of Nigeria in Enugu. Governor Matawale, who was represented by the chairman of Zamfara State Universal Basic Education Board, Alhaji Abubakar Marado, said that the state government would not leave any child behind in its resolve to ensure that each child gets basic, compulsory and free education. According to him, the bill will also seek to assist the government to see that all school-age children are in school to get basic educational learning. He, however, said the state government will support some of the indigent families with little stipend following compliance to compulsory and free education in the state.
President Muhammadu Buhari departed Abuja on Friday to participate in the 50th CAS Exporting Country Forum Summit in Malabo, Equatorial Guinea. The President's Senior Special Assistant on Media and Publicity, Mr. Garba Shehu, disclosed this in a statement on Thursday. He noted that apart from the Nigerian leader, the one-day meeting will be attended by leaders of major gas-producing nations of the world. They include Algeria, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, Libya, Bolivia, Iran, Russia, United Arab Emirates, which account for 70% and 80% of the global gas reserves and production respectively. According to news reports, President Buhari had attended the 3rd gas summit in Tehran in November 2015. This 5th gas summit in Malabo is the first time the biennial meeting will be hosted in Africa. According to him, facts had long been established, and if the nation had followed the plans laid out in the 1970s for the gas sector, it ought to have had 12 trains by earlier 1980s instead of being on just 6 trains of exported liquefied natural gas. Shehu said the Nigerian delegation will also use the opportunity to discuss current trends in the global gas market, potential policies for the energy sector, and opportunities for collaboration. At the end of the 5th gas summit, the Malabo Declaration is expected to be adopted. President Buhari will be accompanied by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timipre Silva, Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Olamilekan Adebite, and the Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mele Kyari. After the summit, the President will head to Daura in Katsina State on a 5-day official visit.
The APC Governors Forum has rated Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje of Kano State as the highest performing state chief executive in developmental projects. This was contained in a statement issued on Thursday, November 28 by Alhaji Abba Umar, the spokesman of the governor. The statement cited the Director General of the Forum, Salihu Mohammed Lukman, as saying Ganduje, having scored 19 points, emerged top at the monthly rating of the forum. There is an all-round increase in the pattern of initiatives introduced by the states, with Kano State recording highest of the initiatives with 19 strides. Also, the action which aims at tracking the activities of the state under the leadership of the APC spreads across empowerment, job creation, healthcare, education, security, transportation, power, environment, and sports. Governor Ganduje is followed by Lagos State Governor with 18 strides, Ekiti State with 17 strides, while Edo State record 13 strides. Katsina and Kwara State follow with 11 each, Yobe State 10, and Jigawa State with 9 strides. Meanwhile, the National Vice Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Chief Austin Umahi, has dismissed reports suggesting 2 unnamed PDP governors from the southeast had concluded arrangement to decamp to the ruling APC. Umahi said none of its 4 governors in the region was contemplating leaving the party ahead of the 2023 general elections. According to him, such rumor was baseless and existed only in the imagination of those peddling it.
The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) on Thursday took delivery of sensitive materials to be used on Saturday for the by-election to fill the vacant seat of Sabwa State constituency of Katsina State House of Assembly. The materials, which included ballot papers and result sheets, were hitherto in the custody of the Katsina office of the Central Bank of Nigeria. The resident electoral commissioner in Katsina, Alhaji Jibrin Zarewa, who supervised the exercise, said they are set for the by-election. According to the REC, 5 candidates are to contest the by-election, including Ibrahim Danjuma, APC, Sagir Isa Bako, MPN, Idris Sabiu, NLDP, Tahir Ahmed, PDC, and Ibrahim Shafiu, PDP. The by-election is due to the death of the former occupant of the seat, Mustafa Abdullahi.
Meanwhile, in Kogi State, the Independent National Electoral Commission on Thursday commenced the distribution of electoral materials to the polling units where the Kogi West supplementary election would be held. The supplementary election is scheduled to hold on Saturday in 53 polling units and 22 polling units in Ajaokuta Federal Constituency. The materials, which were stored at the Central Bank of Nigeria, Lokoja, were received in the presence of INEC officials, including the National Commissioner for Kogi, Kwara, and Nasarawa State, Mohammed Haruna. The state resident electoral commissioner, Professor James Apam, representatives of the concerned political parties, personnel from security agencies, and reporters.
Popular businessman Aliko Dangote, the chairman Channels Media Group, John Momo, chairman of UBA, and philanthropist Tony Elumelu were some of the prominent Nigerians who received the 2019 National Productivity Order of Merit Award on Thursday. A total of 26 individuals and 7 organizations were honored at the ceremony, which was held in Abuja, the nation's capital. The Minister of the Labour and Productivity, Chris Ngeye, explained that the award is in recognition of their contribution to national development and productivity. The MPOM award was instituted by the federal government through the Ministry of Labour and Employment to honor the deserving Nigerians in recognition of their hard work.
The police in Kaduna State have arrested 39 suspected criminals for allegedly committing various offenses ranging from kidnapping, armed robbery, banditry, internet fraud, and other related crimes in various parts of the state. Addressing journalists during the parade of the suspect at the Kaduna Police Command headquarters, spokesman of the command DSP Yakub Sabo says their arrest was successfully carried out through coordinated raiding of criminal hideouts by operatives of the IGP's Social Tactical Squad and the command's intelligence response team, as well as active community engagement initiative in line with the Inspector General of Police mandate on community policing. He says that some of the suspects escaped from Taraba State to hide in Kaduna State after carrying out several kidnappings in the northeastern state. Sabo also explained that some of the suspects have confessed to a series of kidnappings within and outside the state, including the killing of police personnel and 2 other victims at Kanjimi village after collecting millions of naira as ransom. While he admits that the Kaduna State Police Command, like other commands across the country, has some peculiar security challenges, amongst which are armed banditry, cattle rustling, kidnapping, armed robbery, and other violent crimes against law-abiding citizens of the state. The spokesman, however, states that the command has succeeded in reducing such crimes on major highways, urban areas, and villages to a large extent.
2 children have been confirmed killed following an explosion in a gas store on Aduke Street in Ajekule area of Lagos State. Many others are said to be in critical condition as a result of the incident. According to the General Manager of the Lagos State Emergency Management Agency, Femi Osanyintolu, there was a leakage from the gas cylinder before the explosion, which also affected several shops and homes. The area has since been cordoned off.
President Muhammadu Buhari has asked the National Assembly to review and approve the 2016 to 2018 external borrowing plan. He made a request in letters forwarded to the legislature and read on Thursday on the floors of both chambers of the National Assembly in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. In the letters, the president explained that the request was for specific outstanding projects under the 2016 to 2018 borrowing plan. He explained that the 8th National Assembly approved only a part of the external borrowing request forwarded to it in September 2016. This, according to the president, stalled the federal government's implementation of critical projects spanning across the mining, power, health, agricultural, water, and educational sectors. The President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, read the letter to lawmakers present in the Senate chamber. In a related development, President Muhammadu Buhari, in another letter addressed to the Senate President, transmitted the Companies and Allied Matters Bill 2019 to the National Assembly for consideration and passage. We'll be right back after this short commercial break. Stay tuned.
Mu zama masu kallon Standard Boys dan tasha ce mai matukar amfani a gare mu. Kan shirye-shirye don ilmantar da yara kamar mu.
Ko da macen mu Standard Boys ita ce abun alfaharin mu.
Gaskiyar ka baba. Menene gaskiyar maganar ka?
Da kyau, zan yi magana. Al'umma ya kamata su fahimce ni. Standard Boys tasha ce da za ta baka farin ciki. Dukkan wani bakin ciki naka ya fece. Kai dai kawai kasance da mu dare da rana. Baka da damuwa. Standard Boys suna da shirye-shirye masu ƙayatarwa da nishaɗantarwa sosai, musamman ma za ka samu kulawa tamkar yaro hannun mahaifiyarsa, ilmantarwa, nishaɗantarwa, tunatarwa. Sai dai ka sani, tashar mu ta kowa ce.
Me kake nufi da haka?
Ina so in ce Standard Boys.
Kamar yaya? Yi min cikakken bayani don in fahimci abin da kake nufi.
Akwai shirye-shirye don yara akwai kuma na manya-manya. Labaran duniya da sauransu duk zaka samu awa 24 babu kyakkyaftawa. Kowane lokaci dare da rana safe da yamma. Wannan shine yasa suka zama ɗaya da basu da wari. Standard Boys Bridging the Gap.
Welcome back. On the business, Jemima Samuel has more detail.
Welcome to Business Desk. I am Jemima Samuel. The Senate has mandated the Committee on Legislative Compliance to investigate the delay in take-off of the hydroelectric power supply in Areas Development Commission, HYPADEC, after 9 years of passing it into law. The upper chamber, sequel to the consideration of a motion to that effect, also urged the federal government, as a matter of urgency, to constitute the commission and make funds available for it in the year budget of 2020. Sponsor of the motion, Senator Mohammed Inega Bima, APC Niger South, noted that the act that established the HYPADEC charged the Commission with the responsibility of managing ecological menace due to the operation of dams and other hydroelectrical power activities. According to him, the act of establishing the Commission was passed by the 7th National Assembly in 2010 and signed into the law by the President, Goodluck Jonathan. The lawmaker lamented that the inability of the Commission to take off has exposed communities within the area of operation of hydroelectrical dams in Nigeria to serious ecological challenges like flooding, loss of lives, health hazard, and loss of farmlands. He, however, noted that nothing was allocated in the year 2012, 2013, 2016, 2017, and 2018 budget, a situation which has brought enormous hardship on the people of the area. The House of Representatives has passed the Finance Bill 2019 submitted by President Muhammadu Buhari. Members present at the Thursday plenary passed the bill 1 week after it scaled through the third reading and was passed on the floor of the Senate in Abuja. The bill seeks to amend 6 tax provisions and make them more responsive to tax reform policies. Apart from the worries expressed by a cross-section of Nigerians concerning the increase in VAT added tax on specific goods and services from 5% to 7.5%, the bill also amended the tax provision on the Custom and Excise Tariff Act to encourage local manufacturers. It introduces tax incentives for investment in infrastructures, capital markets, and support small businesses. The finance bill will reform the current tax regime by amending 7 acts, namely Petroleum Profits Tax Act, Custom and Excise Tax Act, Company Income Tax Act, Personal Income Tax Act, Value Added Tax Act, Stamp Duty Tax Act, and Capital Gains Tax Act. Meanwhile, the House has urged the Nigerian police to ensure that all policemen on highway patrol were properly dressed in uniforms with their vehicles properly numbered. Lawmakers were worried about policemen on highway patrol who do not wear any means of identification such as name tags, boots, and even their berets. They noted that as a result of this, criminals take advantage to ambush unsuspected Nigerians on the highway and rob them of their valuables. The House was, however, convinced that if policemen were properly kitted and their vehicles properly numbered, it would be easier for road users to clearly differentiate them from criminals from the nation's highways. Thereafter, the House Committee on Police Affairs was mandated to investigate why policemen on highways patrol were not properly kitted. The lawmakers asked the committee to report back in 4 weeks. And that's all we can take on business news today. I'm Jemima Samuel. Over to Musa Joy.
Thank you, Jemima. On sports, Sufyan Abubakar has more detail.
Thank you, Musa Joy Onyoza. My name is Abu Sufyan Abubakar, and as usual, I am with the sports update. Just in, Arsenal FC have sacked Unai Emery as head coach, as Frederick Ljungberg has taken over that position. This comes after Arsenal's home defeat 1-2 to HM Frankfurt in the Europa League on Thursday. Unai Emery's side has been underperforming in the English Premier League and currently sits 8 on the log. Mrs. Olabisi Joseph has emerged as the first female president of the Nigerian School Sports Federation (NSSF) at the election held at Teslim Balogun Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. The news agency of Nigeria, NAN, reports that Joseph, who was the immediate secretary, won the office unopposed. She expressed gratitude to the NSSF family for the support and cooperation of the member states. She is now the third president of the association since it was founded in 1976, immediately after the Civil War. Other elected members are Dixon Monday, who emerged as the Vice President 1, Mrs. Emma Ebong, who also emerged as the Vice President 2, Mr. Funsho Oba, who emerged as the Treasurer. The reigning African champions, the Tigers of Nigeria, will face world number 1, United States of America, Serbia, and Mozambique in the battle for top spot at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo. This was unveiled on Wednesday at a brief ceremony held in Switzerland to officially kickstart the Olympics tournament qualification race. Reacting to the draw, the president of Nigerian Basketball Federation, Engineer Musa Kida, said qualification for the 2020 games is possible. Reacting to the draw, the president of the Nigerian Basketball Federation, Engineer Musa Kida, said the qualification for the 2020 games is possible, despite admitting that it was a difficult draw for the Tigers. He also appreciated the support of the Minister of Sports, Dr. Sunday Dare, towards making Basketball Federation a better one. And here are the results of the Europa League matches played on Thursday. As said earlier, Arsenal lost at home 1-2 to Asian Frankfurt of Germany, while Sevilla FC of Spain defeated Karabakh 2-0. Sporting Lisbon defeated PSV 4-0, while Celtic defeated Rennes of France 3-1. Lazio defeated Cluj 1-0, and Istanbul Besiktas lost at home to AS Roma. Braga and Wolverhampton Wanderers played a 3-3 draw in Portugal, while Manchester United lost away to Astana 2-1. And that's all we have on sports today. Back to Musa Joy on Yoza.
Thank you, Sufyan. On the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday signed into law congressional legislation backing protesters in Hong Kong, despite angry objection from Beijing, with which he said is seeking a deal to end a damaging trade war. The legislation, approved unanimously by the U.S. Senate and by all but one lawmaker in the House of Representatives last week, requires the State Department to certify, at least annually, that Hong Kong retains enough autonomy to justify favorable U.S. trading terms that have helped it maintain its position as a world financial center. The law also threatens sanctions for human rights violations. The Congress passed a second bill, which Donald Trump also signed, banning the export to the Hong Kong police of crowd control munitions such as tear gas, pepper spray, rubber bullets, and stun guns. At the heart of matter is Beijing's promise to allow Hong Kong a high degree of autonomy for 50 years when it regains sovereignty over the city in 1997, a pledge that has formed the basis of the territory's special status under U.S. law. Protesters say freedoms have been steadily eroded. After Congress passed the bill, President Donald Trump's aide debated whether the president's endorsement could undermine efforts to reach an interim trade deal with China, and most of them ultimately recommended the signing. To show support for the protesters, a person familiar with the matter said. The decision was also influenced by the overwhelming majorities in the Senate and House in favor of the legislation, which was widely seen as making the bill's veto-proof, as well as the landslide election victory in Hong Kong earlier this week of critics of Chinese rule. The person said, spoken on condition of anonymity. That has been the news from Standard Voice Television. To end the news, a quick look at the major headlines. Zamfara APC condemns alleged arrest of members in the state. Court fixes dates for hearing of preliminary objection on Operation Positive Identification. Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal warns against dictatorship on hate speech bill. On the bird's nest, Senate probes non-takeoff of Hydroelectric Power Commission. On sports, Joseph Olabisi becomes first female president of NSSF. On the international scene, President Donald Trump approves legislation backing Hong Kong protesters. Thanks for watching. On behalf of I still remain Musa Joy Onyoda. Keep watching Standard Voice Television News.